talk a little bit about the evolution of Reign of Terror? When it started, it was classic Victorian haunted house, haunted mansion kind of thing, very much into the atmosphere, old school Halloween kind of thing. So I assume that's what you really loved, and yet it's expanded to become other things along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole basis of the haunted house is that it has unique themes. Now it's one walk-through haunted attraction because we don't have the space to have 6 different queue lines or run you through 6 different setups. Given with what we've got, we have to do a single line through. But each one of the haunted houses or each one of the themes is to target a unique level of fear. The zombie craze, the Walking Dead, the fear of the Walking Dead seems to be going strong. So we really wanted to kind of incorporate something with zombies. We think it's a great addition for actors and good hands-on and in your face, and I think it always scares people. So it made sense. The fun house, because so many people have fear and scared of clowns. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of clowns. I'm not a huge fan of that element, but I feel that we're at the point now with the size and what we're offering that it's an element that we need to incorporate.
Now, what'll it be? A or B?
So it's the same thing kind of with Blood Manor, which is more blood and gore. Now there's a certain level on which we're gonna go with something, and we feel, I mean, within the traditional realm of a haunted house is where we're gonna stay. So unfortunately, I think at the size we are to stay just with that Victorian theme, I don't know that we could keep it fresh enough in the size that we are. So we had to start branching into other areas and other themes.
Right, so what was the inspiration for the additions? Was it feedback from fans? Oh, you need some chainsaws, not just ghosts? Or?
Yeah, a little bit, and then also just kind of thinking about what people are afraid of. I mean, people are afraid of spiders, people are afraid of blood, people are afraid of clowns, people are afraid of dark and claustrophobic spaces, the creepy, the macabre. So each one of those, we just try to put it in its own element. So that's the dominant theme. Now, of course, we're going to have theatrical lighting and different things in a lot of the haunted houses, but the main kind of fear we try to highlight in each one of the 6 attractions. The classic themed haunted house is still the largest of all the haunted houses because that's where I'm rooted in the traditional haunted mansion type of haunted house. I mean, that's where my true love and passion is, but we cater to the masses.
So if you could get in a time machine and go back and talk to yourself 10 years ago and say, there's going to be a Blood Manor in here.
Yeah.
What do you think your 10-year self before?
I mean, when I used to do this in my house, I refused to have blood or gore. I refused to have clowns. I would have said no. However, if I had gone back into a time machine and told myself what this thing was going to be, I would have never, ever believed it. I mean, we absolutely love what it's at. We love doing it. We have a great team. We have a great staff. It's just a lot of fun. The energy and the excitement is still there. I was telling people earlier, we already know what we want to do next year. And these are all the things that make for a successful and a great haunted house. Is the fact that the excitement and the energy is there. Because it's the passion, it's the attention to detail, it's the thousands of things that you guys didn't even see. And if you went through 10 times, you would still see things that you didn't recognize. That what makes a good haunted house great. And that's what we feel we have. Because we want to change it up enough that no one feels disappointed if they come year after year, that they truly feel that it was exciting, that it was fresh, it was new. I saw a lot of different stuff. But we also know that people are going to come through and see things that have been there for years that just never saw it because of a scare, because of whatever it was. So we know that you have to go through this house multiple times before you feel it, before you've totally figured it out.
Do you ever have people go through the next year and say, well, I didn't see anything new, and it's just because it's not sinking into the brain cells because they're too freaked out?
We get it all the time. And I mean, even more so we get it, people come out, because we like to kind of question people and ask what did they like, what did they see, what were big impressions, because we want to make sure if they see something they like that we continue to improve on it, add more things like it. So we'll refer to certain things, and we get people all the time that say, I didn't see that, and these are major things in the haunted house. So their head was clearly buried into the person in front of them, and they plowed through. But I think they had a great time. They got scared, they got entertained, they laughed, they screamed. So that's really our goal. We want people to just have a great time.
infected, in a way, it seems like vaguely similar to the section you already had about containment, and it's nice because it seems to lead into that. It's like a smooth transition.
It really does, and in fact, we've built on it even more so. So one of the problems that we're running into, I mean, and a big claim to Reign of Terror's fame is that we're letting you in smaller groups. Well, with 95 rooms and 18,000 square feet, it's getting harder and harder to keep you in those individual groups. So what we've incorporated into the haunted attraction, because we have a full camera system in the haunted house now, so we can monitor where flow is, and we can make sure that we're increasing your quality of show if we see people are bunching up. But there is areas where people notoriously bunch up. Quarantine, that is one of them. So in the front of Quarantine, we now have kind of a re-queuing area where you're going to go through a scene where you may or may not be or need to be quarantined if you got infected. So it'd be kind of a neat thing. I think people will get along. It's, you know, it's straightforward, a lot of fun. There's no bags on your heads. This is something that I think people are going to enjoy. Everybody at any age, but yet it keeps them engaged, so they're not waiting, but they're still entertained. But yet it allows us to kind of redisperse you, so you have that intimate experience as you're going through the haunted house. We're a traditional walk-through haunted attraction. So what you would have seen, I mean, if we had to model ourselves towards something else, what you'll see kind of at Universal Studios. That's the level of fear and excitement we want, because we want people to have as much fun as they do scared. And the thing is the more your friends get scared, the funner you have. And that's the world we want to be in. We don't want to be in the world where people are truly afraid. And that's where we draw the line. We want to be in a fantasy world. It's all fun. People are scared, and they're followed by laughter. That's success for us.
Do you realize how creepy this thing is, even without the actors in it?
It is. It's very cool. But that, you know, that the actors just really put the icing on the cake. They really bring this place to life. But I think we do a pretty darn good job with the different sounds. We have a lot of animations throughout the haunted house, so they'll never replace an actor, but they're a great complement to an actor.
Do you think you're like last man standing as far as traditional haunt?
Pretty close. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, I think in Southern California, it's very, very difficult for a kind of pop-up, and I hate to use the word pop-up, but more of a private enterprise haunted attraction to survive in Southern California. I mean, with Universal and Knott's and Six Flags and Queen Mary, you know, you've got major, major theme park type competition. So, but unfortunately, in the kind of traditional haunted attraction, I mean, we seem to be getting less and less every year.
Has the middle dropped out of the haunt business? You're either multi-million-dollar theme park or you're a home haunt, and it must be hard for someone in between to compete.
Well, I think it is extremely hard in California because, I mean, real estate, you know, to have a space and you know, the stronger the economy does, these strip malls and open spaces are going to start disappearing. You know, as the circuit cities get acquired in Mervyn's and these big, large box stores get filled, you know, the haunted house that moves in, there's really not a space for them. And at $1 to $2 a square foot, this is a 30,000 square foot space. Our rent would be $60,000 a month. That's $720,000 a year. So we would never be able to survive.
Started as a home haunt, expanded to what should we call it, a community haunt, and now you're basically professional. I mean, it's for charity. It's not a profit, but it's professional. What was the biggest surprise about that transition from I'm doing this for fun in my house to it's kind of a business, not a for-profit business, but still?
Well, I mean, I think the big thing, because it wasn't one day I was this, the next day I was that. It's been all the different the years of building up. But I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I sell dental implants as a full-time job. That's my career. I've been in the dental implant business for 20 years. And this operating this haunted house in October, the amount of time it takes, it's all the I's and all the T's that need crossing. It's unbelievable. Just this event getting going and, you know, getting kind of starting up again in the season, that's what's always surprised me, is how many things need to be done and how many people need to just be there. You can't do it yourself. I used to have a rule that if I couldn't do it myself, I wasn't going to do it. That was when it was a home haunted house, because I wanted to make sure I didn't bite off more than I could chew. Well, now that's totally not the case. And I mean, I've got a core group of people that, you know, that live and breathe this haunted house to make sure that it is the best it can be from start to finish. And that's been the biggest thing, is how much goes in behind the scenes, the littlest of things, you know, making sure that people are taken care of and making all the different things that need to be done. It's unbelievable.
What would you say to someone who's living in Los Angeles, contemplating the drive out to Thousand Oaks? Why should they come here?
You know, that's a fantastic question, and that's really the million-dollar question we're trying to answer. So for those of you that are away from the Thousand Oaks area or don't even know where we are, don't want to make the drive, this is a haunted house that I guarantee you're going to have an incredible experience. You're coming to the Jan's Marketplace. You're going to come with maybe high, maybe low expectations, but I guarantee you will exceed your expectations. You're going to have a traditional haunted house experience the way haunted house experiences were originally designed, and that is a more intimate group. You're going to go through with your friends, you're going to scream, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, but you're going to have a great time. You're not going to be rushed, and you're going to be able to run through this event as if it's just you, which is going to really make it scary.